Hey everybody, Ryan here with a quick lick lesson for you. I was working on this Grant Green solo with a student of mine and I heard this long 2-5-1 lick and I thought this would be a great one for everyone to check out. Such a great bebop lick here. So this is a 2-5-1 in the key of F and really sounds great. Let's listen to Grant play it from the record. All right, so let's go through and break this line down to figure out what is going on, what's making this tick. So we're starting off with this really great syncopated arpeggio phrase where we're enclosing the third of our two chords. So B flat on the G minor 7 chord. And we start off with this really nice syncopated phrase there. And these are all chord tones, the 5, the 9, the 11, and the third, but really they're all kind of enclosed in the third, like I said. So what's cool though is that this would be a nice melody over a minor chord, even without the 2-5-1 context. There's a bunch of really nice melodic notes, but they sound great in this kind of syncopated fashion too. So once we land on that B flat, this becomes the beginning of a pivot arpeggio. So this is a really common tool that we see in developing bebop vocabulary. And so pivot arpeggio is where we take a 4-note arpeggio, like this B flat major 7 arpeggio, and instead of playing B flat down here, we throw it up an octave, and the rest of the arpeggio stays the same. So instead of B flat D F A, we play B flat D F A. So we call it a pivot arpeggio because it's sort of flipped around, right? The rest of the arpeggio has jumped down the octave, or alternatively, the bottom note has jumped up an octave. So it's sort of flipped around, pivot arpeggio. And you hear that all the time in bebop lines. It's such a nice melodic structure to throw into your lines. So even that in itself would be a really nice melody over a minor chord like that. But we don't stop there. Then we move down basically our F major scale, but outlining a C7 chord. So without adding in those 16th notes and that sort of bebop ornamentation there, we're really just going. So that's sort of a simplified version of what's happening in measure 2 there. But of course we have those 16th notes on beat 2. That's such a classic Grant Green and classic bebop kind of phrase there. So check that out really quick. I'm not picking all those. It would sound pretty goofy if I were to pick all those. So instead, there's a pick attack at the beginning. You can see I'm almost kind of bookending it with pick attacks, but a lot of it is just happening in the left hand with hammer on. So pick, so especially when I'm doing that in the context of the line itself. You can kind of see I'm not picking all those notes until the end of the line, right? So that's how I would handle those. That can be tough to get together, but it's really important to do that in time because it really helps the momentum of the line. So try and make that as smooth as possible when you're practicing this. All right, so like I said, we're moving down the F major scale down to B flat, which is the 7 of our C7 chord. And then we end up with this 4-1-2-3 bebop pattern, which is a very familiar sounding pattern, right? We hear that in a lot of sort of bebop melodies. And that targets the third of our F major 7 chord. And then we do another sort of arpeggio. Now we're playing an A minor 7 arpeggio. And then jumping down to the root of our F chord. So we're getting 3, 5, 7, 9 roots. So a bunch of chord tones there over our F major chord. Really great sound. And so notice Grant Green is using the same kind of idea in two different spots here. So over our G minor chord, we played a B flat major 7 arpeggio. So a 7th chord arpeggio off the third of our chord. And we're doing the same thing over F major 7. The only thing is that the qualities flip around, right? So over a minor chord, you can play a major 7 arpeggio off the third, like B flat major 7 over G minor. over a major chord, you play a minor 7 arpeggio off the 3rd. So F major 7, A minor arpeggio. So really cool trick there. Again, a really common bebop strategy there. So that's that phrase there. And that triplet is really nice too. That's another one to kind of work out technically, right? So I'm just sweeping that. I'm letting my pick drop through the string. So I attack and then just kind of let the pick drop. So I hit a downstroke on the downbeat of measure 3. And me personally, I'm hitting that G at the end of the triplet with an upstroke. So down, 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 up, down. So a lot of really cool little technical things to work out in this phrase as well. And then we finish up this phrase with a really classic melodic idea here, where we're going from the 7 of our major chord to the 6. You hear that all the time in Grant Green's playing and in a lot of other bebop solos as well. So and Gray does that beautiful, that slide into that E too. Those are the kind of nuances that are really important to capture when we're transcribing. All right, so we've got a really awesome 2-5-1 phrase here. So really try and capture the momentum and the swing feel in that line when you practice this. But this is a great one to add into your vocabulary, and there are a ton of little bits and pieces that you can pull out of this line and put into other vocabulary as well. Some of those pivot arpeggio ideas and things like that, the enclosures and all that kind of stuff. So really awesome line to study here. And yeah, I would love to see you guys put this into your playing and give this a try this week. All right, that's all for now. I will see you next time.